Imagine yourself at an amusement park. The sun is shining and the excitement in the air is palpable. You're eagerly awaiting in line to experience the thrill of a lifetime on the top Thrill Dragster roller coaster, once known as the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster. The anticipation builds as you inch closer to the front of the line, but suddenly your dream ride turns into a nightmare. For Rachel Hawes, this was a reality. She traveled all the way from Swartz Creek, Michigan to visit Cedar Point Park, located on the Sandusky Ohio peninsula of Lake Erie, with the intention of experiencing the park's beauty and taking a ride on the top Thrill Dragster roller coaster. Little did she know, this trip would end in a tragic accident that would change her life forever. I've been posting lots of interesting and informative videos about roller coaster disasters on my channel. If you're interested in learning more about this subject, please subscribe to my channel. On August 15th, 2021, 44-year-old Rachel Hawes tragically lost her life after being struck by a metal bracket that fell off a roller coaster while it was in operation. The incident has raised many questions about the cause of the accident and the responsibility of the amusement park. This is the story of the infamous accident that took place on the tallest roller coaster in the world and changed the course of Rachel's life forever. For those who know Cedar Point, Ohio, hearing the name alone would conjure images of amazing rides, family-friendly events, live shows, and good food. Cedar Point has been the source of happiness for millions of people ever since it first opened its doors in 1870. The amusement park is home to an impressive 70 rides, including the iconic roller coasters Vengeance and Millennium Force. The park has gained fame for its top Thrill Dragster, designed by Vernor Stengel and manufactured by Intamin, which holds the title of the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world. The coaster opened in 2003 and was the first of its kind to surpass a height of 400 feet in a full circuit. Its records were only surpassed by King, the car at Six Flags Great Adventure in 2005, still standing at a height of 420 feet and moving at a maximum speed of 120 miles per hour. It was easy to see why it was an absolute gravity-defying monster of a roller coaster. Riders were launched in the blink of an eye before sprinting straight up at the 90-degree incline. The brief experience of the top Thrill Dragster may have only lasted 17 seconds, but for some thrill seekers, it was the most significant 17 seconds of their lives since the ride first opened. The ride has had a profound impact on many people's lives. Given its popularity, it was not surprising that Rachel Hawes, a 44-year-old actor and mother of two from Michigan, would travel over 281 miles to Ohio to experience the ride for herself. To experience the ride's spine-tingling thrill herself, she went with her family and couldn't wait to get on the ride when they arrived. However, little did she know she would never even get the chance to sit in its train car on the 15th of August 2021. Was a hot Sunday like any other. Rachel was standing in line watching as the roller coaster climbed to its highest point and began its descent toward the station below like it was programmed to do. But what happened next was far beyond anyone's expectations. As she stood in line waiting patiently for her turn, a piece of metal from one of the trains suddenly broke off and fell straight down toward where she stood. Given the speed and height of the ride, Rachel didn't even have time to react or move out of the way before the metal bracket flew and hit her in the back of the head. The impact was so powerful that Rachel collapsed to the ground, clutching her head and crying out in intense pain and distress. Her father, Robert Edmonds, who was standing beside her, witnessed the whole incident. Like Rachel, he was unable to react quickly enough when he saw something plummeting towards them at an incredible speed. Robert Edmonds only saw a black square suddenly hitting his daughter, but he didn't know where it came from or what it was. Another witness, 27-year-old John McDermott, who was in line for the ride with his girlfriend, saw the object flying through the air. He reported that the metal bracket was as big as the palm of his hand. He saw Rachel fall and heard the object bounce off the concrete. David Fowler, a registered nurse who was also in line that day, heard Rachel fall and saw the chaos that ensued afterwards. Obviously, from everyone else's point of view, an innocent woman was standing and going about her business one second, and the next, she was on the ground bleeding and screaming. Understandably, they were terrified in their haste to get out. Many people started shouting and jumping the fence, but instead of running away like the rest, David took charge of the situation and hurried over to Rachel's side to try to help her. He and a few other customers removed their shirts and tried to use them to stop Rachel from bleeding out before the paramedics arrived. The park's emergency medical services arrived soon after, and Rachel screamed in agony as they tried to tend to her injuries. The pain of being hit on the head by such a heavy object was intense, and it was a miracle that she survived the ordeal. She was rushed to a nearby hospital and was admitted to the ICU in critical condition with a brain injury. Fortunately, she managed to survive the incident, but suffered from significant physical and mental trauma. She has not spoken publicly about the accident, leading to rumors of her death, but her family has confirmed multiple times that she is alive. It is clear that the talented actor and beloved mother, Rachel Hawes, who went to the park that day with the expectation of having fun, left her life completely changed. The question now is, how did this accident happen? In the wake of the incident, the Ohio Department of Agriculture conducted an investigation. According to state law, roller coasters must be inspected at least twice a year by at least 2 inspectors. The dragster had been inspected 4 months prior to the accident and was deemed safe to operate. The Department of Agriculture conducted an extensive investigation into the accident. They examined maintenance records, collected witness statements, and interviewed staff to determine the cause of the tragedy. The investigation revealed that the object that struck Rachel Hawes was a solid steel bracket measuring 3 inches in length and 2 inches in width. The steel bracket, in the shape of an L, was fixed at the back of the roller coaster car. Its function was to detect the position of the train on the track by hovering above it. However, on a fateful day, the bracket dislodged from its position along with half of the bolts that kept it secure during the roller coaster's 420-foot descent. The state's investigators spent a significant amount of time, about 5 months, investigating the cause of the accident. They discovered loose bolts, signs of deformation and impact marks on train cars and tracks, and identified the location of where a metal plate broke from the ride and fell. The chief of the Amusement Ride Safety Division of the Ohio Department of Agriculture, David Miron, noted that the prior inspection of the ride did not miss anything, but the ride's popularity and frequent use led to accelerated wear and tear, resulting in the issue between the May inspection and the accident. The investigation also revealed that another assessment was scheduled for September, and the park had been conducting daily checks on the ride. Cedar Point was unaware that the ride was unsafe on the day of the accident, as they had been following all safety protocols. Following the incident, the ride was closed for the remainder of the 2021 season. Park officials announced on Tuesday, September 1st, 2022, that the second tallest roller coaster would be permanently closed. The park did not mention if the tragic accident was the reason for the permanent closure of the coaster, which had been in operation for 19 years and had drawn 18 million riders. At the start of 2023, the top thrill ride will be gone, and its replacement is yet to be announced. However, there are plans for a new roller coaster to be at the park by the summer of 2023. As the park was investigated and no negligence or foul play was discovered, the authorities did not recommend any administrative action against Cedar Point. Additionally, the family of Rachel Hawes has not filed a lawsuit for the incident. It is important to remember that in cases like this, negligence and corporate greed can often play a role. However, it's also important to note that accidents can happen, and the thrill of the rides should not come at the cost of one's safety. It's important to consider all the facts and evidence before jumping to conclusions and taking action. It's also important to remember that safety should always be the top priority. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, check out this next one. Thanks for watching.